Welcome back to the Morning Cruise, everybody. Today, we have our first interview here. And I'm excited for this one because we're shining a spotlight on a true gem, I think, in the performing arts world, the EOAN Group. So they're based at the iconic Joseph Stone Auditorium in Athlone. And they're all about dance, theater, and education. So they do contemporary dance, they do Indonesian, even traditional dance classes for a wide range of ages, like starting from toddlers to hosting these massive performances in their 500-seat theater. And they've created a space where creativity and community can really collide. Plus, though, at their academic center, they're offering virtual schooling alongside dance training. So they're sort of redefining what it means to support young people in the creative arts in this way. So I'm here with No Use and Tyra from the EOAN Group. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So, yeah, we're super excited to be with you guys today. Actually, for those of you who don't know, Tyra and No Use are actually part of the same program that brought me here to Bush Radio called Tilting Futures. So we know each other. We're pretty good friends. And, yeah, so I'm excited. Our first question today, just can you tell us a little bit about the EOAN Group? Like, what do you do? What's going on?
Okay, so the EOAN Group, I think the first day that we walked in, it was primarily just about the theater. Like, we were just in awe because there are so many like different studios and different people there. But I would say, and what also one of our supervisors, Mr. Shafiq, would say is that the EOAN Group is about the people. It's about serving. So the motto is we live to serve. And so the people around the Athlone community, the people that have been associating with the group for nearly 100 years now. It's all about giving back to the community and focusing on the arts as like a liberator or like a freedom space in a way. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's right off the bat. Wow, that's awesome. And I know, so Tyra, you were on my show a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I'm glad to have you back there as well. You're just as eloquent.
Thank you.
So can you talk a little bit more about the space? I think it's the Joseph Stone Auditorium. Can you just describe to me, like, you walk in there, like, what do you see?
Yeah, so the Joseph Stone Auditorium is actually huge. For me,
It's
like,
huge. Yeah.
coming from the 28th was insane building. Like, so the main hall, the auditorium has 500 seats. And coming there, the first place, like Tyra described, was such a incredible feeling of everything. And then also seeing the people who work there. It's the way, how much they do for the community. It's truly, like, for me, it really touched my heart. And, yeah, so there you have the auditorium, which is 500 seats. Then do we also have, there's dance studios. How do you call them?
Yeah.
In English, Tyra?
Same, dance
yeah,
studios.
dance studios. Yeah. There's many of them too, so that's where people train. And there's also waiting hall. So a very nice building actually, and very, I think, accommodated for guests who want to come and visit.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, could you tell me a little bit more about like what goes on in the theater? You know, like what if it's programs, if it's practices, like what's the day-to-day a little bit like?
So we usually come in the mornings, so that's when there's already a few students who have the academic center and they study there, which I think is a really nice way to do this hybrid learning. Like, you know, they don't have to switch location, that kind of stuff. So there's academic center up until like, yeah, the end of the school day. And then there's dance trainings, if you call them like that. Let's call them like that. And yeah, so there's dance trainings and but you also, the auditorium is such a, I think, busy place, so there's every week happening something.
That is so true.
So
like,
true, yeah.
When we were talking to one of our supervisors, Thora, she kept on telling us how like the auditorium has been around, and it's like one of only 2 like fly-in theaters in the whole of Cape Town. And so what fly-in means is that in case you have like the beams on like stage, you can, instead of just like hanging them, you can fly them up into like the ceiling. And so that's like really coveted like in Cape Town. And so like people have to book the auditorium like a whole year in advance. Like that's how crazy it is. Like there's an event nearly almost every weekend. And so during the week sometimes we have to like, you know, go help set up the stage, learn about like lighting, sound, stuff like that, meeting the clients, getting to know what they would want, suggesting different stuff for the stage setup. So it's interesting how the space can change and how so many things from like religion. I've had like a drag show podcast one of these past weekends, and so it's just like it's I don't know how to say. It's like a living thing that just like lets things inhabit it sometimes. Yeah.
That's so cool. And it's lucky that you guys are like able to be in that space, even if it's like such a coveted space like every day. That's a really valuable experience. So you mentioned the academic center. Could you just talk a little bit more? I'm not sure how involved you are with that side of it, but just what do you do now? Just can you talk a little bit more about it?
Okay, so for the academic center, we have about 4 kids physically and a couple more virtually. And so what it is mainly is that these children are allowed to like, study international curriculum, but online. And so they come in and then from the morning for about 6 hours, they're doing their work. In case they need any help, there's a couple of us and also staff that are able to help them. And then afterwards, around like 2:30-ish, after a small break, they just head to the studio for dance classes. So I would say that they do spend quite some time at the auditorium, but honestly, you never see them complain. I think they're like a family, seeing them be with each other and be with our supervisors. Like, it's just great to see that kind of community. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really incredible, actually. Like, really incredible. Like, I come from a country where like individualism is very supported, let's say, like that. And then coming to EOAN Group and seeing how staff and the students, everyone there connects like a family, work as a family, and that whole relationship it's really magical. And the way it also, I think, creates another level of like work and efficiency. It's very magical that there's only few people who does all this magical work in the whole auditorium.
That's true.
Wow. And so I think it says here that like you teach kids as young as 3. Is that true? Like, what's the age range?
Yeah, wow. They are.
Yeah.
So there are like different tiers of like classes. I believe the lowest one is like toddlers, and you have like juniors, and you have like intermediate,
and then seniors.
There's seniors as well. So it's like crazy because you have like all these tiers of like age groups, and then you're just able to like work with like different. We haven't seen much of like the true diverse range because we do leave within a time before the classes like really really get busy. But definitely the amount of people that come into the space. One of our supervisors has been there since she was 3. Wow. And now she's in her early 30s. So I would say that speaks for continuity itself. Yeah.
And so, like, obviously, I mean, it's been a staple of this community for a long time. Like, have you talked to anyone about like what it means to that? What does it mean to the community? Like, if it's had any impact that you know of?
Yeah. So a couple of days ago, when we were trying to understand better what the EOAN Group was to the people that worked there, I just asked them if you could describe EOAN Group in a word, what would it be? And both of our supervisors said that it's just freedom. And so the freedom to, I would say, come to a space that doesn't judge you by your background, that doesn't judge you by what others have defined about who you are. Just being able to exist and to express in a way that is natural and easy to them. A space that very much caters to all sorts of people from all sorts of economic backgrounds. And so just to illustrate this, and also to add on to Noyos's earlier point about how everyone is like a sort of family, one of our supervisors, Mr. Shafiq, in his office, the door is rarely, if ever, closed. And then when you do enter, there are 2 chairs in front of his desk and like 3 chairs by the side. And he told us the 3 chairs by the side are not for like how do you say, are not for like just people who come in to see him and have appointments. They're primarily for children. The door is always open for the children. So he's always like getting, I would say, giving advice, creating like a space where people can grow as individuals. So it extends very much far past the typical, this is just a dance group, this is just a theater group, this is just a performance group, It's the freedom to explore who you are, I would say, in itself, which sounds really heavy, but it's an amazing space to be in. Yeah.
And so if you had to say, like, what when you walk into that space, when you see these people, like what is your favorite thing? What do you like? Just like makes you sort of light up inside?
Oh, actually, I think it's our supervisor. Actually,
Yeah.
because like you see her and she just has this smile and energy, and you know that the day is going to be okay. So, and then that's also like, you know, having a strong leadership, like for us, like as interns, I think also really helps, because, you know, whatever's happening in the auditorium, she's like, you can come in, guys, learn, do everything. So I think that's like, you know, that first smile and that first, how was your day? How is your day? You know, it really helps. And also like, Mr. Shafiq and everyone, basically everyone there. Like even seeing the building and feeling the passion of arts is again, I'm not familiar to art scene, so for me it was I'm just living in euphoria this whole time.
Is there anything that like surprised you, like about like sort of being part of this theater production, like this whole seeing how all like the cogs and wheels work, you know?
Yes.
What surprised you, Tyra?
Two things. One, where I come from, people are not that expressive. How do I say? So our supervisor, Zara, she is like very like, you know, jovial and stuff like that. But she's also like been a dancer for so many years. So you could just be there sitting, and then next you know, she's like, come on, join me for a TikTok. Or like,
that was our first day.
On our first day, we showed a TikTok with her. Like her energy is like infectious, and like I wasn't used to that. And the second thing is, you know, I think movies romanticize how theater productions go, because you definitely do have like costumes and stuff like that. But do you know what it takes to manage a wardrobe? That's my question. Because there are like so many costumes, like so many, you know, attires and stuff like that, and so many things that needed to be sorted and etc. So it's like, okay, how do we keep the theater going as smoothly as possible? And so what needs to be done, and how fast does it need to be done? And these are questions that I didn't anticipate or even think that I would be finding answers to.
Yeah, I can really agree with the wardrobe. It's so huge. I'm not sure if I knew that all these type of clothes existed before.
True.
So that's wow. But yeah, other than that, again, Ryan, what was your question? I'm sorry.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean, it was just like, is there anything that surprised you about like the behind the scenes of running something like this?
Also, I think like like, you know, when there's events happening and how we have to greet people and like, you know, seeing people again and seeing them, oh, hello, welcome to the event. I think it's also not really surprise, but also give new experience how to, like, you know, be on the other side. You know, we go to theaters or we go to the shows, but this time we are the ones welcoming them. So I think that's also very nice. And then we would be me and Tyra. So who's gonna say it now? Who's gonna say it now? So
can we swap positions? Can I please sit down and eat? Could you stand by the entrance?
Yeah. So that was also cool.
Yeah, it's always funny. I haven't been to that many theater productions, which is a failure of mine. But like,
very big
it
failure.
always
time to come to auditorium.
Yeah, it's like it's always just, it's such a smooth experience though every time I've been, and like I think it's easy to forget then how much of like just logistical stuff goes on behind to make it so smooth.
Yeah.
So could you talk a little bit about, so it says they offer like a huge variety of like dance programs. Like it says there's like contemporary dance, it's like Indonesian dance. Like could you just talk a little bit more about like what the programs that you offer, like when you see these kids learning to dance, like what is that like?
Yeah, so I can talk a bit about that. So the classes mainly happen around like 3-ish until around 6, 7-ish. And so most of the time we help up with like logistics of like mainly the theater, and then we are sometimes around at that time, sometimes not, to prepare for other events. But the dancers that we have seen, we specifically see some contemporary dancing. There's contemporary, there's hip hop. They do some like Indonesian traditional dancing, belly dancing as well. And so classical ballet. There are so many things that they do, especially like mixing different genres like together. Because the contemporary does like do some like ballet, but they make it like modern. And so the pieces, I'm not allowed to speak on them because they've been presented yet. They've been practicing, but they are so, I don't know. I've literally never. I used to think that the way movies portrayed like ballet or like contemporary was just like for the movies, but then seeing someone give that much passion to like a routine or a dance, or like with the instructors that do come into the studio and are also a family in themselves, it is interesting, moving, because there used to be times when we would be done with our activities, our duties, and we'd just grab chairs and like sit and like just watch them in the studio, because I don't know. It just...
No, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's, like, I don't know other word. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's really nice. And especially because me and Tyra, even before we were interns and we were still in Cape Town, we saw, like, we participated in Cape Town Carnival. And we saw them and we didn't know that, like, you know, and they were like, oh yeah, that was us. And we're like...
It was crazy. And that was our first day when we learned that it was them.
Exactly. Oh my God.
It was peak.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can imagine that.
That's such a cool experience, because I went to that carnival as well, and I was wondering a little bit. I was like, oh wow,
yeah,
they're super cool, yeah. And it's just nice to be surrounded by people who are passionate, like you said, like people who just like to are happy to be there and want to be there and want to learn. So, yeah. As we get towards the end of this, is there anything that we have to look forward to from the EOAN Group?
Yeah, so who's gonna take this? Me, Tyra, you? Why are you singing? Yeah, so...
we can talk about tomorrow. Saturday.
No. Saturday.
So this Saturday, there is a singing competition, Clash of the Chords, and it's from 7 until 10 p.m. I don't know about you, but I definitely want to see what Cape Town has to offer in terms of like vocal talents. You know, some of us want to be famous. No use. And so to see what it takes to be a superstar in that regard. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, so if you want to come on Saturday, it will be also very nice. It seems to me and Tyra, we will be going, so hopefully you will join us too.
We will definitely be welcoming you. So
yeah, exactly. So it's also going to be...
I'll have to show up as well.
It's going to be an opportunity to see our faces. And then also on May 15th, we're also organizing, so as part of like being interns of TAL, so we're also doing this performance show, name to be confirmed. No, we do have it to be confirmed. Tyra, you're the genius behind this.
So, Ryan, allow us to ask you, do you pronounce it Pangaea or Pangaea?
Pangaea.
Okay, in my language it's Pangaea, okay?
As I was saying. So, the show is called Pangaea. And so, what came behind this is that we realized that there is so much talent that we have in the cohort and in the community itself that we want to showcase to the Athlone community to bring more people together. And the reason why it's called Pangaea is because, you know, originally there's a theory of how, you know, the continents in the world came to be. We were a supercontinent, and then different kind of natural phenomenons, and we split into different continents. And so now imagine like a reformation of that unity. So that's why we named it Pangaea, because we come from about 26 different countries from the Tilting Futures cohort in itself, and then also introducing us to the Athlone community, the dancers at the EOAN Group. We want to just unify and display how much the arts unify us, you know, as humanity. But at the same time, just like creating like a general space for, I don't know, but growth, curiosity, sort of like a showcase of, allow me to get poetic, a showcase of our souls. And so that's definitely what it's going to be. May 15th, we'll come back, I think. Ryan, are we coming back?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We'll come back with more details about the show and what it will be like, when specifically, like which time. But definitely, yeah. Keep your calendars clear for May 15th evening.
Ooh, okay. So it sounds like we have some fun stuff planned. We have like
100%.
This Saturday and the 15th. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
That was the best event description I have heard. I was moved. I was truly moved. So well said. Thank you, Tyra.
So is there anywhere, if like someone listening wants to learn more about the EOAN Group, or just like follow you guys, if there's social media, is there a website, like where can we reach out? Where can we figure out more?
So the EOAN Group does have a website, and you can literally just type out EOAN Group online and you'll be able to find it. At the same time, they do have an Instagram for the EOAN Group of Performing Arts and for the theater and performance different sectors. And so you can find some of the, I would say, like stills from like different events. When I was searching about the organization before I came, I was actually shocked, I would say, because these are like poignant pieces that you don't just see floating around on the web. This is intention, skill, master, practice, you know? And so definitely searching for that, I think you'll be able to come more into contact. We also do have a TikTok. There is a TikTok. I don't know. My supervisor is definitely listening to this. Follow my supervisor on TikTok. It's just very, it's just a very interesting time to be in. Very interesting space where it's like you can free flow in any direction. TikTok, Instagram, website, you know.
I think it also gives opportunity to, like, you know, showcase different, how to say, not perspectives, but different areas of work, which is very nice. True. Like, you know, depending on the program. Yeah.
Well, that sounds amazing. Okay, so reach out if you want to find the EOAN Group, EOAN, on their website or on Instagram and TikTok. Is there any final words you guys have to say? Anything you want to leave our audience with?
Oh, my voice. I'm sorry. So yeah, for us, I think it's just we're so happy to be part of this EOAN community. Now, I think we are. Yeah, and be blessed with their energy and everything. And the way, like I said, like, shoot out to our supervisors. We love them so much, and we really respect them.
Yeah.
And if you want to, you know, learn ballet dancing or just be part of this wonderful community, reach out. And don't forget the May 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. It sounds like a really incredible, like, community you have, and like that space, and like just the ability to, like you said, Tyra, just really be free and express yourself how you want to express yourself. That sounds really, like, really powerful and incredible. So thank you again for coming in.